So let us have a look at another problem, the problem number 3, to get a complete clear view of the moment of resistance or the analysis of rectangular section. In this problem, let us find out what is the moment of resistance. Let us find out how much UDL it can allow over its entire span, and let us also, as a variant of the previous problem, try to understand, apart from its own self weight, how much more load it can allow on its entire span. Its own self weight will be there of the beam. Remove that self weight, and apart from this self weight, how much more load it can allow. So let us have a look at the new variant of a similar problem. A RCC beam has been given over here. The width is 225 mm. The overall depth has been given over here, 550 mm is the overall depth. Now if you look at the beam, overall depth is from the top to the bottom. Earlier we were given up to the center of the reinforcement. So in this case we have been given the width as 225 mm and the overall depth is 550 mm. It is reinforced with 3 bars of 12 mm diameter. There are 3 bars as shown over here, all 3 bars of the same 12 mm diameter. Now the grade of concrete used is M25 and the steel used is Fe500. Now find the moment of resistance of the beam and the UDL it can carry over entire its span excluding its self weight. So the UDL, whatever it can carry, we have to remove the self weight. We have to remove the self weight and say how much UDL can be permitted on this beam. Now we have been given that the effective length of the beam is 3 meters and the beam is simply supported over the support. So the beam is simply supported, the effective span is 3 meters, and we have been given take nominal cover or clear cover as 40 mm. Okay, so now clear cover has been given and the other data has been given. We have to use it further. Now let us look at the solution part. As we always do, let us compile all the data together so that we don't have to refer to the problem again and again to search the values. All the values remain at one place. We can refer to these values and we can solve. So data given over here is width is 225 mm. The depth, the overall depth, please note over here capital D has been given as 550 mm. In the earlier cases we used to use small d. Now over here it is capital D. Capital D is the overall depth from the topmost fiber to the bottommost portion over here. Now the area of steel again has been given indirectly in terms of 3 bars of 12 mm diameter. So 3 bars have been given, 12 mm diameter. M25 grade of concrete has been given. Fe500 steel is given. The effective span is 3 meters simply supported beam. Nominal cover or the clear cover from the bottom of this reinforcement to the bottommost point, the clear cover has been given as 40 mm. To find what is the moment of resistance of the beam and UDL excluding the self weight is how much, that has been given. So let us look at the first step. The first step is calculate the value of XU upon D or the actual depth of the neutral axis to the effective depth, that ratio, from IS 456 clause G 1.1a page 96 of the code. Okay, the depth of the neutral axis, that is the actual neutral axis to the effective depth, that ratio we are trying to find out. That's the formula, XU by D equal to 0.87 F by AST divided by 0.36 FCK BD. This has been taken from the IS code. Now when we look at it, XU upon D is equal to 0.87, the value comes down as it is. Fy in this case has been given to us as 500. Now AST has not been given directly, so I'm looking at the calculations. Area is 3 bars which are circular in cross section. So we have 3 bars multiplied by area of a circle, which is pi d square by 4. So pi by 4 into 12 square. So area is equal to 3 into this calculation comes to 113 mm square. So area comes equal to 339 mm square. So this value of 339 has been used for area of steel. Now 0.36 as it is. FCK, the grade of concrete, has been given to us as 25. B, the width of the beam, is 225. Now the effective depth of the beam is not known to us. Please note, what has been given to us is the capital D, the overall depth. Now small d is not known to us, so let us just calculate the small d. Now cover has been given to us. First let us find effective cover. Effective cover is cover plus half the bar diameter. So effective cover is clear cover or nominal cover, which has been given as 40, plus the bar diameter 12 divided by 2. So effective cover is 40 plus 6, or effective cover is 46. Now what is effective depth? Effective depth is overall depth minus the effective cover. So effective depth is overall depth, which is 550, minus the effective cover, which we have got over here, that is 46. So effective depth is equal to, this calculation comes down to 504. Now this 504 we substitute over here for this effective depth, so 504 over here. So if we observe, on the left hand side we have XU upon D equal to, on the right hand side we have all the values. When we solve this, we get XU upon D equal to 0.14. Solving the terms on the right hand side, the numbers on the right hand side, we get XU by D, the depth of the actual neutral axis to the effective depth. That ratio, we get it equal to 0.14. The depth of the actual neutral axis to the effective depth, that ratio comes equal to 0.14. Then we go to step number 2. The step number 2 is check the value of XU max by D, the limiting value of the neutral axis upon the effective depth, that ratio from IS 456 clause 38.1 note on page number 70. The limiting values of the depth of neutral axis for different grades of steel are based on the assumptions in the limit state of collapse, and they are as follows. So depending upon the type of steel, the grade of steel, we will be getting the XU max by D. So we know that in this case we are using Fe 500. So Fe 500 XU max by D, the maximum value of XU expected is 0.46. Now please note over here, the depth of the actual neutral axis to the effective depth has come to 0.14. The depth of the limiting or maximum neutral axis to the effective depth has come to 0.46. So 0.14 and 0.46. Now we continue further to the step 3. In the step 3, we compare the values of actual depth of neutral axis to effective depth and the maximum depth of neutral axis to effective depth, both these ratios. Now actual depth of neutral axis to effective depth is 0.14 and the maximum depth of neutral axis to effective depth, the ratio is 0.46. 0.14 is less than 0.46. What is the inference? Step number 4. XU by D, the actual depth of neutral axis, is less than XU max by D, is less than the limiting depth of neutral axis upon the effective depth. So the beam is under reinforced. As in the previous cases, this beam is also under reinforced. What is the conclusion of this? Use IS 456 clause G1.1b, page 96, to get the value of ultimate moment of resistance. In order to get the ultimate moment of resistance, use clause 1.1b, that is G1.1b, in the annexure G1.1b, page number 96, which says if the value of XU by D is less than the limiting value, calculate the moment of resistance by the following expression. Mu equal to 0.87 Fy AST into D into bracket 1 minus AST Fy upon BD FCK. Now let us look at the values which we already have. 0.87 is known. Fy, the characteristic yield stress in steel, is given to be 500. The area of steel has been already calculated as 339. The effective depth has been calculated by us as 504. 1 comes down as it is, minus area of steel is calculated as 339 multiplied by Fy, the yield stress of the type of steel, is 500. B, the width of the beam is 225. The effective depth has been calculated as 504 and the characteristic strength or the cube strength is of grade 25. So having solved this, we get the value of ultimate moment of resistance. Ultimate moment of resistance as 69.87 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. So this is the ultimate moment of resistance. Ultimate moment it can resist is 69.87 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. Now moment of resistance we get by dividing the ultimate moment of resistance by 1.5. So we get moment of resistance as 69.87 into 10 raised to 6 divided by 1.5. Please note it is in Newton mm because all the units are in Newton and mm. So moment of resistance is equal to, when we solve this, we get the answer as 46.59 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. So 46.59 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm is the capacity, is the capability of this beam, is the capability of the beam to resist the bending moment. Its own moment of resistance is 46.59 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. Now this Newton mm I want to convert to kilonewton meter. So 46.59 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm will be equal to 46.59 into 10 raised to 6 from Newton to kilonewton. Since Newton is small, we divide by 1000. From mm to meters, since mm is small, we divide by another 1000. So 46.59 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm becomes equal to 46.59 kilonewton meter. So the moment of resistance of this beam is 46.59 kilonewton meter. Now moment of resistance is equated to the external acting bending moment. Moment of resistance is its internal forces, is its internal capability. From the equilibrium condition, the internal capability, the sum of all the internal forces, the sum of internal moments should be equal to the sum of all the moments which are acting externally. The external acting bending moment on a simply supported beam with UDL, the maximum bending moment is given by the relation WL squared by 8. Maximum bending moment for a simply supported beam with UDL is WL squared by 8. The moment of resistance for this beam is 46.59 kilonewton meter. So that value has been taken. So if this is in kilonewton meter, my W over here UDL is in terms of kilonewton per meter and L would be in meters. So L, the effective span is 3 meters. So 46.59 is equal to W into 3 square by 8. So this comes down, 46.59 is equal to W into 3 square becomes 9 divided by 8. So W comes equal to 41.41 kilonewton per meter. So that means this beam can permit a UDL on its entire span of the magnitude 41.41 kilonewton per meter. On every meter, every per meter, the load can be 41.41. So UDL it can carry over entire its span is 41.41 kilonewton per meter. But the question which has been asked to us is not what it can carry throughout its span, but what it can carry removing its self weight. So now we need to remove the self weight. We understand that the beam is of uniform cross section. It is uniform cross section. It is isotropic in right from the beginning till the end, from end to end. So let us do the calculation. Self weight of the beam, this is always done, self weight of the beam is always calculated per meter. So that is the cross section, the width multiplied by the depth multiplied by its unit weight. The width, this is in mm, so we are converting it to meters. So mm to meters is divided by 1000. The overall depth is 550. It is also divided by 1000 to convert to meters, because the unit weight which we are taking, unit weight of RCC is 25 kilonewton per meter cube. It is 25 kilonewton per meter cube. So since the units are meters, meter cube, 25 kilonewton per meter cube, this unit as well as this unit both have to be meters and it cannot be mm. So that's why self weight of the beam is 225 divided by 1000 multiplied by 550 divided by 1000 multiplied by 25. So this comes as self weight of the beam equal to 3.09 kilonewton meter. Now we know that the UDL which this beam can allow on its entire span is 41.41, out of which 3.09 is its own self weight. So from 41.41 kilonewton per meter, we can safely remove 3.09, which is the self weight of the beam. So the UDL which it can carry over entire its span, excluding or without its self weight, would be 41.41 minus 3.09, or the UDL it can carry over entire its span, excluding or without its self weight, would be equal to 38.32 kilonewton per meter. So this much amount of load we can allow on the beam without its self weight. Its self weight has been removed from here. So final answer is the moment of resistance of this beam is 84.30 kilonewton meter, and the UDL it can carry over entire its span, excluding its self weight, is 38.32 kilonewton per meter. Again, in this case, if at all I have to round this value off, can I round this off to 38.50? No, because if I round this off to 38.50, the UDL it can carry over its entire span, excluding self weight, would be larger than 38.32. The overall loading, the W of the UDL, will be more than 41.41. The beam could fail. So please note, if at all we have to round this off, this has to be always rounded off on the lower side. We can say that the UDL which it can carry over entire its span, excluding its self weight, can be 32 kilonewton per meter. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Or the best, leave it as it is, as 38.32 kilonewton meter. Practically speaking, 38.32, that fraction 32 becomes difficult to judge, so better to round it off on the lower side. So that's how we solve the problem. So the moment of resistance of the beam has come equal to 84.30 kilonewton meter, and without its own self weight, what load can be applied? Removing the self weight of the beam, what load can be applied on the beam? We have already calculated, that is 38 kilonewton 38 kilonewton per meter, or 38.32 kilonewton per meter. Maximum we can allow is 38.32 kilonewton per meter. The best we can use, rounding it off, comes to 38 kilonewton per meter.